everyone, this is Gina. Today I wanted to make a really quick, fast project with the Christmas treasure bags. You should all be receiving them by now. And I'm going to try to make a tutorial a day, real quick, sweet projects that we can have every day until sometime next week. Just leading up to Christmas. Now, I'm not making total promises because, you know, life happens, but I'm going to try to make really quick, fast projects that you can make for gifts so you can prepare for Christmas. I will be doing both the Christmas treasure bag and some things more from the autumn or the seasonal tones. So this is what we're making with our Christmas treasure bag. A really cute little linked bracelet. This is what it looks like on. This is what my clasping looks like. Turns out absolutely adorable. Nice and dainty. Would make a beautiful gift. These are little CZ components, so they're really nice. And I do not discuss in the tutorial, but you'll want to make sure when you pick out your jump rings that they are not a really, really thin, flimsy jump ring. They need to be a pretty substantial jump ring. And having said that, let's go ahead and look at the material list and get started on this. Okay, for this project, we're going to be making a cute little bracelet that looks like this, with the 5 links that are in your Christmas special treasure bag. If you have any links in your stash, then of course you can do this also. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the 5 links and we're going to use some jump rings. So this is 5mm in diameter. You can use a 4 or you can use a 6, but I wouldn't go any bigger than that. The 5mm is just about right with the size of the components. So you're going to need about 44 of those, and that's just an estimate because that can change according to the length of the bracelet you make. We're also going to be using some clasping. So I have this little fold over clasp with a jump ring, and I have some of these I will be putting in my online store if you'd like to try this. Otherwise, just use any clasping you want. A lobster claw would work great for this. So all this is a jump ring with the fold over clasp on this side, and it fits and looks really good on this particular bracelet. So that's what I'm going to use. Try to find some gold findings that match this light gold color the best you can. I found mine at Michael's. They're not exact, but they're pretty close. So let's go ahead and gather your things together and we'll get started on this project. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is lay out our 5 little components, and we're going to lay them out so that if you notice, one loop is up and down and one loop is flat and flush against your bead mat. So you want to lay them out so that the flat and flush one is next to the vertical one. That's the way we need to connect them. So we're going to connect them just like this. So lay it out so that you know which one you're going to pick up next to connect with. We're going to connect by opening the loop on the vertical side. It's easier to open, easier to see and manipulate. Now, if any of your little loops are the wrong direction or they're a little bent, you can manipulate them with a pair of chain nose pliers. Like this one is open, so let me show you. See how that one's open? I can grab a hold of it with my pliers and just very gently manipulate it. So I can bring it back and then push it down and shimmy it until I get it to close. So I'll just open it a little bit more again and just adjust it. Now this takes patience. Be slow and gentle with it, but now you can see I have closed that and I can straighten it up if it's bent. Just gently manipulate them. It takes a little strength, but if you go too crazy with it or you mess with it too long, it will eventually break. So you need to just play with them gently. Now, on this one, I am going to go ahead and pick up one of my links here. So my second one, because this is the vertical one, I want to hook it to this one. So I'm going to find how it opens. Right here is where it's opening. I am going to just use a nice pair of chain nose, not a needle nose, because you want to cover most of the clasp so you don't, or the loop so you don't break it. And then just bring it up like this. So I've just twisted it up, and then I can grab this one, making sure that both of them are facing the same direction, put it on there, then I can close the way I opened. So I'll just bring this down, and you can see I'm using a lot of the surface of the loop with a lot of the surface of my plier covering it, just to make sure that it stays, that it has a lot of support and you're not distorting or breaking it. Then you can go in with the tip and get it a little bit more detailed once you have it down. Now it's closed tightly and they're connected. We're going to continue doing that, hooking the vertical into the horizontal or the flat loop until we have all 5 of them connected. Okay, so all of mine are connected. Now, make sure you open them pretty wide without really stressing the loop to put each one on to the previous, or to connect them together, simply because it can be kind of hard to get one loop into the other if you don't open it wide enough. So twist it pretty wide without stressing it to the point to where you break it. And then you will notice you have, once you've connected it, because we have 5 of them, we have one that's vertical here and one that's flat here. So we need them both to be the same direction. And because it's easier to manipulate the vertical ones, we're going to turn this vertical one flat very gently with our pliers. So I'm just going to pick up this component. I'm going to grab the entire loop in to my plier, and I'm just going to gently start to turn it until it is flat. Now you can see I distorted it just a little bit because this one was kind of distorted in the beginning. So I'm going to grab my pliers and just try to manipulate him a little bit more. And I'm going to open it and close it until I can get it to look just right. There we go. I can bring this forward a little bit. You can manipulate them. They're made to be manipulated. Just do it very gently. Now this one is pretty good. And it is now flat, but it's bent. So let me straighten it up like that. Now both sides have the loop flat against the bead mat, and that's important for when you start to connect your chain. You want this to lay properly, so you need them to be the same way. So you can see with this one. Okay, then the next thing we're going to do is just start connecting jump rings. So let me back off a little, and I'm going to do a single, then a double jump ring link here. So I'm going to grab one of my jump rings and I'm going to place a plier on one side. I'm using a nice good size chain nose and flat nose because these distort a lot less if you cover more surface when you twist them open. And I'm going to get close again just so that you can see what I'm doing. Find the opening of your jump ring, place a plier on one half of that opening, and then cover the other half and crank it open. Now with this particular link that I'm doing, I am going to grab 2 jump rings. These are already pretty well closed. Make sure they're closed. And then drop 2 of them on, and then put the single jump ring, the one that you just dropped the 2 on. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. So this, whoop, let's do that again. You grab another jump ring. So I have 1 open jump ring with 2 closed jump rings on it, just like this. And then I'm going to take the open jump ring, put it on my loop. Okay, I have it at a funny angle, so there we go. And then I'm going to close that jump ring. So see if I can get a little bit more coverage here with my pliers. And I'm just going to twist it back. And then I like to kind of tap on that closing to make sure it's closed tightly. And I'll just continue doing that. I'll pick up a single, open it up. Let me back up just so I want to make sure we are not blurry here. So I'm going to pick up a single and drop my double on here. Make sure they're both closed. These ones came pretty closed, so they look pretty good. And then I'm going to drop the two closed ones on there. Then I'm going to take the single and put it on the previous double, just like this. So we're just doing single, double jump rings. It balances things out a little bit when you have the double, and it also gives this a little bit more weight towards the back, because this is going to be heavy in the front. If you had a really light or really tiny chain in the back, all it's going to do is spin around on your wrist. You also don't want to make this with a whole lot of slack around your wrist. You want it to fit pretty well. It doesn't have to be tight, of course, but you don't want it really big, because all this is going to do is hang at the bottom of your wrist. So we're making a little weight, and we're having a little bit of a substantial size back here so that this will actually wear correctly. Now that we have the beginning here of our chain, we're just going to continue making it. So I'll pick up another single, drop a couple of doubles on, put the single on the previous double like this, and then close it. And I'm going to continue doing that until I have the length I want. So mine, I'm just going to count the singles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 singles. So I'm not counting the doubles. 1, 2, 3 of the singles. And I'm going to have the doubles in between, of course. So I'm going to go ahead and continue doing that until I have 8. This bracelet that I made, on one side, because the jump ring is bigger, I did a little less. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But I'm going to tell you exactly how many units I have when we come back, and we're going to end up with about a 7-inch bracelet, almost exactly. So that will kind of give you an idea, if you follow exactly what I'm doing, how much length you'll have. And I modified this side, so on this side I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of my singles. And on your last singles, you'll put your clasping. So let's go ahead and make the length we need on both sides, exactly how I've shown you to make your chain. And then we'll be back and we'll put our clasping on, and I'll show you again exactly how many links I've used. Okay, so I have made my chain the length that I need, and all together this is 14 links right here. I've ended on a double. My 15th link is going to be my jump ring that will connect my clasping. So all together it will be 15 links. And that's counting both the doubles and the singles. Now, I've just opened my fold over clasp, took the jump ring out, and I'm going to slide. I'm going to close it again and slide that on my jump ring. So this is my last link, my 15th. Now you can just slide a lobster claw on here also. Whatever you have, slide it through the loop and put it on your last double. And close it. And one side of the bracelet is complete. I will begin the same thing with the other side by picking up my single jump ring, open it up, drop 2 closed jump rings on it, and then put it on my bracelet loop, my link. And this one, I did one link less. So we will have 14 altogether, I believe. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Actually, 13. And do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13. Because my jump ring for my clasping is big, I didn't want the extra length, so I stopped the chain a little early. So I am counting all of the links, including the singles and the doubles. I will, of course, start with a single and end with a single, and then put my large jump ring on. So let's go ahead and make the amount of links we need on this side, come back, put our jump ring on, and see what it looks like. Okay, so I have put 12 links on here so far, counting the single and the double both. And now I am going to open my last single, and I'm going to grab the jump ring that goes with my clasping, put it on there, and then put the one I have open on the previous link, the double link, and then I'm going to close this jump ring. Make sure it's closed well. And now I have a cute little bracelet. So I'm going to try to put this on and see if I can do it, because you know how it is. Sometimes I can, sometimes I can't. But I did show you what the other one looked like on, because I made my design and then I decided to keep it and not take it apart and do it again, because I don't like doing that. So I am going to go ahead and probably go off camera. I don't know. These foldovers are pretty easy, but it wants to slide off my wrist is the issue. And I got it. All right. And there you have it. And this is what my clasping looks like. Very pretty. It's in line with the rest. It's a nice, sleek look. Here's the previous one I made so you can see it laying out. Just really quick, really cute little project with your treasure bag. I'm going to try to do a bunch of cute little quick projects and get them out, at least one every day for the next week if I possibly can. I'm not making total promises because, life, it happens, and I have a 3-year-old living with me now, and there are moments that I just can't get anything done. So that's just kind of the way that works. So I hope you enjoyed this little project, and I'll be back with another one tomorrow, hopefully. Bye-bye.